The elevator dinged at the 32nd floor of Vanguard Capital, a towering finance firm in Manhattan. Out stepped Ariya Patel, 22 years old, notebook in hand and confidence tucked deep behind polite smiles. It was her third week as a summer intern, and so far, her biggest tasks had been fetching coffee, making copies, and trying to avoid being talked over. Today, a high-stakes meeting was scheduled. The boardroom filled with executives prepping to pitch a billion-dollar merger to new investors. Ariya wasn't supposed to be there, but a last-minute assistant call-out meant she'd be running the presentation slides. As she entered with a stack of printouts, one senior VP, Mark, smirked. "Hope she doesn't crash the projector again." Laughter followed. Ariya kept her head down. She had overheard them earlier mocking her, calling her just another diversity hire. Unaware she held a double major from MIT and had built an award-winning market prediction algorithm, the very algorithm the board would unknowingly discuss today. They didn't know who they were about to underestimate. The room buzzed with tension as the lead presenter fumbled through slides. Investors waited. Charts loaded. Then the screen froze. The presenter panicked. Cables unplugged. Panic set in. Ariya stepped forward. "May I?" she asked. The room turned. Mark rolled his eyes. "You've already done enough." The CEO, Mr. Rains, looked curious. "Go ahead." Ariya walked over, typed a few commands, and fixed the screen. Then, calmly, she added, "There's an issue with the data on slide 11. Mark scoffed. "It's not your concern." But Rains raised a hand. "What do you see?" Ariya didn't flinch. "The projections are misaligned. You're referencing Q1 2022 when the algorithm pulled Q4 data." "I know because I designed the tool you're quoting." The room went silent. "You built the model?" "Yes, sir. It was my senior thesis and part of the algorithm Vanguard licensed this quarter." All eyes turned to Mark. He was speechless. Rains gestured. "Take 5 minutes. Show us what we missed." Ariya nodded, and in 5 minutes, she changed everything. Ariya stepped up to the front of the room. She didn't shout. She didn't apologize. She pulled up her version of the model and calmly explained how the data misalignment could have cost them $8.3 million if left uncorrected. She pointed out a competitor's acquisition that mirrored their proposal, but failed due to the exact same blind spot. Then she adjusted one variable on screen. The new model lit up in green. "This adjustment increases forecast accuracy by 18%. It's what I built the model for, real-world risk correction." Executives leaned in. Investors began taking notes. Rains smiled. Mark turned red. When Ariya wrapped up, the investors clapped, not politely, but sincerely. One of them leaned over to Rains and said, "She's the sharpest person in this room." Rains asked Ariya to stay after the meeting. "Where have you been hiding?" She smiled. "Just following orders, sir, but I've been watching." And in that moment, the intern who'd been mocked had earned the respect of a room full of suits. Later that day, Ariya was called into the CEO's office. Rains looked up from his desk. "I'm going to be blunt. We need you." What happened in there wasn't luck. It was preparation, guts, and talent. He offered her a fast-track strategic analyst position, bypassing the internship entirely. Mark, the VP who mocked her, was reassigned to a different project. Word spread quickly. Ariya became a quiet legend among the interns, the girl who spoke when it mattered and proved her worth without arrogance. She didn't brag, she didn't post about it, she just kept doing the work. Soon, she was mentoring the next batch of interns, helping them navigate a world that often underestimates quiet brilliance. And the boardroom? It remembered her name. Not because she was loud, but because she was right. Months passed and Ariya Patel was no longer just the intern. Her name now appeared on project proposals, strategy reports, and even internal memos marked urgent. Clients specifically asked for her in meetings. Senior staff paused conversations when she walked into a room. The same people who once smirked when she entered were now taking notes when she spoke. She hadn't changed who she was. She had simply been given space to show it. At the next company-wide town hall, CEO Rains took the stage to address the entire firm. Near the end of his remarks, he paused and looked toward the second row. "I want to remind everyone of a moment that changed this company," he said. A frozen screen, a pitch about to fail, and an intern, one no one expected, stepped up and turned it around in 5 minutes. He gestured toward Ariya. "Never underestimate the quietest voice in the room. Sometimes it's the one carrying the answer." The room erupted in applause as Ariya stood, no longer nervous, no longer overlooked. She smiled and gave a small nod. Later, during an internal interview, someone asked what gave her the courage to speak up that day. She replied simply, "They underestimated me. I just didn't return the favor." Because sometimes 5 minutes is all it takes to change your future. Ariya didn't just survive the boardroom, she owned it.